Persinger here. Got a message last night. A fella told me his loneliness ain't going away. Ever. Said it's permanent now. I sat with that a long while before I picked up this camera, 'cause I used to believe that too. If you feel that way right now, stay with me a minute. Now some of you are thinking, Persinger, you don't know my situation. Maybe your spouse passed. Maybe your kids quit calling. Maybe you outlived every friend you had one by one till the phone just stopped ringing. I hear you. That's real. It hurts like the devil. But permanent and painful ain't the same word. They just feel the same at 2 in the morning. Give me a few more minutes before you decide which one this is. Here's what I've come to believe. Loneliness isn't about the people who left. It's about the one relationship nobody ever teaches you to build. The one with yourself. Most folks have never spent one evening alone without a phone in their hand or a television talking at them. Never just sit in a quiet room and be there. If you can't stand your own company, of course you feel abandoned. Of course the house feels too big and too quiet. You've been avoiding the one person who stayed this whole time, you. Now let me tell you what it costs you to keep running from yourself. Every night you fill with noise instead of quiet, you're telling yourself something. That you ain't worth sitting with. That adds up. 10 years of it. 20. I've watched men my age grow bitter. Not because they were left alone, but because they never made peace with the fella staring back at them in the mirror. They filled the silence with anger instead of understanding, grudges instead of grace. And by the time they realized what they'd done, they'd already pushed away the people still trying to stay close. That's the real cost. Not the years alone. The years spent hating your own company. I'm going to tell you something I don't say often. There were stretches, years really, where I sat out here alone and felt like the loneliest man in the county, even with people who loved me nearby, even with Mama just inside the house. It wasn't about who was around. It was about who I hadn't made peace with yet, myself. Whatever age you're at watching this, whether you're 50 or 90, that feeling doesn't discriminate. It'll find you at any stage of life, in a full house or an empty one. The question ain't how old you are. It's whether you've started that conversation with yourself yet. I remember one winter, must have been years back, I sat by that fire out there 3 nights running and I couldn't stand it. Kept getting up, finding something to do, moving wood I didn't need to move, anywhere but sitting still with my own thoughts. On the 4th night I made myself stay, just me, the fire, and whatever came up. It wasn't easy. Some old regrets came calling that I hadn't looked at in years. Things I'd said, things I hadn't. But I sat with them. Didn't run to the truck, didn't turn on the radio, told myself the truth, plain and simple, the way you'd tell a friend. And something in me settled that night that hadn't settled in a long, long while. I walked back inside a little different than I walked out. That night taught me something I want to pass on to you. You don't need to fill every quiet moment. You don't need noise or a phone or somebody else in the room to feel like you matter. The turning point ain't finding more people. It's becoming someone you don't need to run from. Once you can sit in a quiet room and feel at ease with just yourself, loneliness starts losing its grip. Not because your circumstances changed. Nobody called that you didn't used to, nobody moved back that left. But because you ain't fighting yourself anymore. That's the whole turn right there. That's the only turn that matters. So here's something practical, not just talk. Pick one evening this week. Just one. Turn off the television. Leave the phone in the other room, not face down on the table, in the other room. Sit somewhere quiet for 20 minutes. Porch, kitchen table, don't matter where. Let your own thoughts show up and don't run from them. If something hard comes up, an old regret, a name you miss, let it sit there with you. Don't fix it that night. You ain't trying to solve it. You're just proving you can be in the room with your own mind and not bolt for the door. That's step one. Everything else builds from there. Now I want to ask you something, and I mean this. Down in the comments, tell me, what's one thing that's helped you sit easier with yourself, even just a little? Don't overthink it. One sentence is plenty. I read every one of them, and I guarantee somebody scrolling through tonight feeling the way you used to feel needs to hear your answer. Not mine. Yours. And if you're the kind of person who believes there's still wisdom worth passing down, worth sitting with a while, hit that subscribe button. This is where I say the things folks are too afraid to say out loud anymore. I'd be glad to have you stay a while. So if you came here today thinking this loneliness is permanent, I want you walking away with a different thought. It's not who left that decides how alone you feel. It's whether you've made peace with who's still here, you. Nobody's coming to fix that for you, and nobody can take that work away either. That's yours to build, on your own time, in your own quiet, at your own pace. Start small. Start tonight if you can, and if not tonight, start tomorrow. But start. You got more say in this than you think. A lot more. Now, before you go, there's something else I've been chewing on. Next time, I want to tell you about the mistake I made in my 50s that cost me damn near 10 years of peace. I didn't see it then. Took me a long while to see it after. Longer than I'm proud to admit. If you've ever wondered how a good year can turn into a wasted decade without noticing a single day slipping by, you'll want to be here for that one. Until then, go easy on yourself tonight. That's harder than it sounds, but it's worth every bit of the trying. I'll see you next time.